Create a 10 minutes video for YouTube about Twisted History, Alaska's Floating Cities. Twisted History, Alaska's Floating Cities. The day the cruise ships came north. Before we cast off into icy waters, do me a quick favor. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and climb aboard with us for another journey where history gets strange, beautiful, and just a little twisted. Because today's story isn't about gold miners. It's about something even more unbelievable. Floating cities. Long before tourists arrived wearing matching jackets and carrying cameras bigger than frontier rifles, Alaska belonged to explorers, traders, and people tough enough to call the North home. But everything changed when massive ships began sailing into ports like Juneau, Ketchikan, and of course our old friend Skagway. The first time locals saw a modern cruise ship, reactions were mixed. Some thought it was a moving hotel, others assumed it was a government experiment. One fisherman reportedly said,
"Well, that thing either brought tourists or aliens."
Both turned out partially correct. Early Alaska travel wasn't easy. Steamships battled rough seas. Passengers endured cold cabins and unpredictable weather. But travelers kept coming north searching for glaciers, wildlife, and stories larger than everyday life. And slowly, the cruise industry realized something important. Alaska wasn't just a destination. It was an experience. By the late 20th century, cruise ships grew enormous. Ships like the Emerald Princess began carrying thousands of passengers through the Inside Passage. Waters so calm and scenic, they feel designed by nature specifically for storytelling. From the decks, travelers watched humpback whales surface beside the ship. Eagles circled overhead. Mountains rose straight from the sea like ancient guardians. And suddenly everyone on board became a photographer. But here's the twisted history part. The new gold rush wasn't underground anymore. It was tourism. Towns once built for miners reinvented themselves for visitors. Old saloons became gift shops, warehouses became museums, and former gold rush streets welcomed travelers eager to step into the past without freezing their boots. In Juneau, visitors discovered a capital city reachable only by boat or plane. No highways connect it to the rest of North America, which makes Juneau possibly the only capital city where forgetting your car is completely normal. Nearby, the mighty Mendenhall Glacier draws travelers into a frozen landscape where blue ice glows like another planet. Standing before it, you realize Alaska doesn't whisper, it performs. Further south, Ketchikan greets visitors with rain, color, and stories carved into towering totem poles. Nicknamed the salmon capital of the world, it proves two things. Fish are important. Rain jackets are essential. Cruise ships transformed Alaska's economy, but they also preserved its stories. Guides tell tales of prospectors. Railroads still climb mountains. And locals share legends handed down for generations. Every port stop becomes a living chapter of history. Life aboard ship adds its own comedy. Passengers wake at sunrise for glacier viewing. Someone always forgets their camera battery. Someone else insists they saw a whale that nobody else witnessed. And by the third day, strangers become friends simply because everyone keeps meeting at the same dessert station. Human nature survives even in luxury. Evenings at sea bring quiet magic. The sun lingers late in northern skies. Water turns silver. Mountains fade into silhouettes. And travelers lean against railings realizing they are far from everyday worries. The North has that effect. It slows time. Alaska cruise travel proves something fascinating about history. People once risked their lives reaching these waters. Today we arrive comfortably, yet the sense of wonder remains exactly the same. The landscape hasn't changed. Only our method of arrival has. And maybe that's why Alaska continues to capture hearts, because whether you arrive by dog sled, railroad, or cruise ship, you still feel small beneath the mountains. You still feel curious. You still feel alive. So the next time a giant cruise ship glides into an Alaska port, remember, it isn't just bringing tourists. It's continuing a story that began with explorers, miners, railroad builders, and dreamers chasing something beyond the horizon. The ships may be bigger now, but the adventure? Still wild, still northern, still wonderfully twisted. Alaska is full of wilderness, mountains taller than ambition, glaciers older than memory. And scattered across this enormous land sit the remains of towns built almost overnight during the Klondike Gold Rush. Boom towns, gold camps, places where thousands arrived with dreams, and most left with stories instead. Let's begin in Dyea, once the rival port to Skagway. In 1897, Dyea exploded with activity. Tents covered the valley. Ships unloaded hopeful miners by the thousands. Supplies piled high. Optimism was everywhere. Then the railroad chose Skagway instead. And almost overnight, Dyea vanished. Today the forest has reclaimed it. Trees grow where hotels once stood. Trails cross old streets. And if you listen carefully, the wind sounds suspiciously like someone still arguing about mining claims. Next stop, Ketchikan. Now this place wasn't chasing gold, it chased copper. And for a time, Ketchikan became one of the richest mining operations in North America. Engineers built massive red mill buildings against glaciers. Workers lived in relative comfort, which in Alaska meant warm food and fewer avalanches than average. Millions of dollars in copper flowed south. Then, one day in 1938, the mine closed. Workers left, machines stopped, and Ketchikan froze in time like history pressed pause. Walk there today, and it feels like the workers might return after lunch. But twisted history tells us something funny. Gold rush towns followed a predictable cycle. Discovery, excitement, chaos, optimism. Reality usually arrived wearing muddy boots and empty pockets. Farther north sits Chattanooga, once alive with dredges chewing through river valleys searching for gold. These mechanical monsters ran day and night, reshaping landscapes. Workers gambled, laughed, and swore they were just one season away from wealth. Today, silence rests over the area. Old equipment sits like metal dinosaurs retired from duty. Ghost towns aren't sad places. They're reminders, proof of human determination, and occasional overconfidence. People crossed oceans, climbed mountains, and endured Arctic winters chasing possibility. And honestly, you have to admire that level of optimism. Some towns disappeared for stranger reasons. Avalanches erased settlements. Fires consumed wooden buildings. Rivers changed course and simply abandoned communities. Nature in Alaska doesn't negotiate. It makes decisions. Travelers visiting these places often report an unusual feeling. Not fear, not sadness, just presence. As if the land remembers the noise of busy streets, laughter from saloons, and miners celebrating discoveries that may or may not have been real gold. And here's the biggest twist. Many stampeders never struck it rich, yet their journeys changed Alaska forever. They built trails, mapped mountains, created transportation routes, founded communities that still exist today. Failure, it turns out, can build history too. Modern explorers now hike into these abandoned sites. Photographers capture collapsing cabins under northern skies. History lovers walk carefully through old foundations, imagining the lives once lived there. No crowds, no rush, just wind, mountains, and memory. Standing in an Alaska ghost town teaches something important. The frontier never truly ends. It simply waits for the next generation to rediscover it. Because while gold may run out, stories never do. And Alaska might be the only place where even abandoned towns still feel alive. If you enjoyed today's twisted journey through Alaska's ghost towns, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and come back next week for another adventure into the strange, the forgotten, and the wonderfully twisted corners of history. Thank you kindly for watching.